Welcome to our Eco channel, where we explore the wonders of our planet and the vital connections that sustain all life. From the depths of the oceans to the peaks of the mountains, we delve into the beauty and complexity of Earth's ecosystems. Let's journey together towards a greener future. In this video, we talk about the impact of climate change on global biodiversity. The impact of climate change on global biodiversity. 1. Alterations in ecosystems. Climate change is causing significant shifts in ecosystems worldwide. Rising temperatures, changing precipitation patterns, and increased frequency of extreme weather events are altering habitats, leading to disruptions in the balance of natural ecosystems. 2. Threats to species survival. As the climate changes, many species struggle to adapt. These rapid changes in the environment lead to shifts in species distribution, behaviors, and reproduction, which often result in population declines and, in extreme cases, extinction. 3. Imbalance in the web of life. The intricate web of life, dependent on biodiversity, is at risk due to climate change. Disruptions in ecosystems affect key species like pollinators, whose decline threatens global food security. Marine ecosystems are also under stress, with coral reefs and other habitats deteriorating due to ocean warming and acidification. 4. Regional impacts. Arctic and forests. In the Arctic, climate change is most evident, with species like polar bears losing their icy habitats. Similarly, forests face threats from more frequent wildfires and changing weather patterns, leading to habitat loss and stress on plant and animal species. 5. Far-reaching consequences. The decline in biodiversity has broad implications, from weakening ecosystem resilience to affecting human livelihoods. Protecting biodiversity is critical in combating climate change, as healthy ecosystems help regulate the climate and support life on Earth. 6. The need for global action. Addressing the impact of climate change on biodiversity requires immediate global cooperation. Mitigating these effects is essential to safeguarding the planet's diverse life forms and ensuring the long-term health of ecosystems. 7. Species migration and habitat shifts. As temperatures rise, many species are forced to migrate to cooler areas to survive. This leads to shifts in habitats, with some species moving to higher altitudes or latitudes. However, not all species can migrate, leading to potential local extinctions. 8. Oceanic changes and marine life. Climate change is warming the oceans, altering currents, and causing sea levels to rise. These changes are severely affecting marine life, particularly in coral reefs and polar regions. Ocean acidification, resulting from increased CO2 absorption, further threatens marine biodiversity, impacting species from tiny plankton to large marine mammals. 9. Impact on agriculture and food security. Biodiversity loss due to climate change also affects agriculture. Changes in climate can lead to the loss of pollinators, soil degradation, and altered growing seasons, threatening global food security. This is particularly concerning for regions dependent on agriculture for their livelihoods. 10. The role of conservation efforts. Conservation efforts are crucial in mitigating the impact of climate change on biodiversity. Protecting habitats, restoring ecosystems, and creating wildlife corridors can help species adapt to changing conditions. Additionally, reducing carbon emissions and promoting sustainable practices are vital steps in preserving biodiversity. 11. The human connection. Human communities are intrinsically linked to biodiversity. The loss of species and ecosystems not only affects the environment, but also cultural practices, economies, and health. Indigenous communities, in particular, face significant challenges as climate change disrupts the natural resources they rely on. 12. Future outlook, hope, and innovation. While the challenges are significant, there is hope. Innovations in science and technology, coupled with increased awareness and global cooperation, offer pathways to mitigate the effects of climate change on biodiversity. Sustainable development and conservation initiatives are essential in preserving the Earth's rich biodiversity for future generations. 13. Educating and engaging the public. Public awareness and education are key to addressing the biodiversity crisis. By understanding the impact of climate change on ecosystems, individuals and communities can take action to reduce their carbon footprint, support conservation efforts, and advocate for stronger environmental policies. 14. Call to action, protecting our planet's diversity. The time to act is now. Protecting the diversity of life on Earth requires a collective effort, from grassroots movements to international policies. By prioritizing biodiversity in climate action plans, we can help safeguard the planet's ecosystems and the myriad species that depend on them. 15. Integrating biodiversity into climate policies. Integrating biodiversity considerations into climate policies is essential for holistic environmental management. Effective climate policies should include measures to protect and restore habitats, safeguard endangered species, and promote biodiversity-friendly practices. This approach ensures that climate action supports both environmental sustainability and ecosystem health. 16. Community-based conservation initiatives. Local communities play a vital role in conservation efforts. Community-based conservation initiatives empower local people to protect their natural resources and biodiversity. By involving communities in decision-making and conservation activities, these initiatives foster a sense of ownership and enhance the effectiveness of conservation strategies. 17. The role of technology in monitoring and conservation. Advancements in technology are revolutionizing conservation efforts. Tools such as satellite imagery, drones, and genetic analysis enable scientists to monitor ecosystems, track wildlife populations, and assess habitat changes more effectively. Leveraging these technologies can improve conservation outcomes and provide valuable data for informed decision-making. 18. Supporting biodiversity through sustainable practices. Sustainable practices in agriculture, forestry, and urban planning are crucial for preserving biodiversity. Implementing sustainable land use practices, reducing pollution, and promoting responsible consumption can help mitigate the impacts of climate change on ecosystems and support the health of wildlife populations. 19. The impact of climate change on freshwater resources. Climate change is also affecting freshwater resources, including rivers, lakes, and wetlands. Changes in precipitation patterns and increased evaporation are impacting water availability and quality. These changes threaten freshwater species and disrupt ecosystems that rely on stable water conditions. 20. Promoting biodiversity research and education. Investing in biodiversity research and education is essential for understanding and addressing the impacts of climate change. Research helps identify vulnerable species, assess ecosystem health, and develop effective conservation strategies. Education raises awareness about the importance of biodiversity and encourages individuals to take action. 21. The importance of global cooperation. Addressing the impact of climate change on biodiversity requires global cooperation. International agreements, such as the Convention on Biological Diversity, provide a framework for collaborative efforts to protect ecosystems and species. By working together, nations can share knowledge, resources, and strategies to combat biodiversity loss. 22. Encouraging personal action and advocacy. Individuals can make a difference by adopting eco-friendly practices, supporting conservation organizations, and advocating for environmental policies. Personal actions, such as reducing waste, conserving energy, and supporting sustainable products, contribute to the broader effort to protect biodiversity and combat climate change. 23. Celebrating successes and progress. Recognizing and celebrating successes in conservation and biodiversity protection can inspire further action. Highlighting positive outcomes, such as successful habitat restorations or species recoveries, provides hope and motivates continued efforts to address the challenges posed by climate change. 24. Looking ahead. A vision for a biodiverse future. A vision for the future includes a world where biodiversity thrives despite the challenges of climate change. By fostering resilience in ecosystems, supporting conservation efforts, and embracing sustainable practices, we can work towards a future where the planet's rich biodiversity is preserved and celebrated for generations to come. 25. Enhancing biodiversity in urban areas. Urban areas can support biodiversity through green spaces, parks, and wildlife-friendly infrastructure. Incorporating native plants and creating habitats within cities helps provide resources for local wildlife and supports ecosystem health. 26. The link between biodiversity and human health. Healthy ecosystems contribute to human well-being by providing clean air, water, and resources. Protecting biodiversity ensures that these essential services continue, supporting overall health and quality of life. 27. Biodiversity and climate resilience. Diverse ecosystems are more resilient to climate change impacts. By preserving a range of species and habitats, we can enhance ecosystem stability and help natural systems adapt to changing conditions. 28. Role of indigenous knowledge in conservation. Indigenous knowledge and practices offer valuable insights into sustainable resource management and conservation. Collaborating with indigenous communities can enhance biodiversity protection and foster respect for traditional ecological wisdom. 29. The economics of biodiversity conservation. Investing in biodiversity conservation has economic benefits, such as maintaining ecosystem services and supporting sustainable industries. Understanding the economic value of biodiversity can drive support for conservation efforts. 30. Encouraging biodiversity-friendly policies. Advocating for policies that protect ecosystems and wildlife is crucial. Supporting legislation and initiatives that prioritize biodiversity can lead to more effective conservation strategies and better environmental outcomes. Goodbye, everyone.